chart here. And we've got some values. We have -2, -1, 0.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah, thank you. So all we're going to do is we're going to plug in y is equal to, I'm going to plug in a -2. -2 goes in for x plus 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we're going to put a 1 there. Okay, now we're going to do y is equal to -1 plus 3. -1 plus 3.
Wait, what?
Okay, so I'm just substituting this -1 in for x.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got -1, this used to be x, now it's a -1 plus 3 is 2. And I'm going to do y equals 0 plus 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. Okay, so we're going to carry our stuff over here. All right, then y equals 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, so we're going to put a 4 in there. Okay, y equals 2 plus 3. 5. Okay, make sure I put this on my t-chart. Okay, y equals 3 plus 3. That equals 6. Good. All right, so we've got our table of values. This is how we got them. We just substituted that x value in. Okay, now we're going to graph it. That's the next thing that we're going to do.
Do we fill up the table after we're done with the water?
Yeah, so fill up your table there, like I did. And I'm going to erase this part.
Oh gosh.
So now we're just going to graph. So I'm just going to kind of review graphing a little bit here because it may have been a while since we have graphed. This horizontal running left to right is our x-axis. Vertical is our y. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go -2 in the x direction. So x is horizontal, so I'm going to go 1, -2. And then, stopping there, then I'm going to go in the positive y direction, 1. So I'm going to turn the corner and come up here and do 1. Are we okay with plotting that point?
So wait, alright, so when we use the x knowledge, do we put it along the side of the line for the components that we did to add? Right here. We got to that.
Okay, so with the x, here we're looking here. Okay, we've got -2, so you're going to go in the -2 direction. 1, 2, 1, -2. It's
Okay.
negative direction. And then we're going to go positive 1 in the y direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, I understand.
Okay. So we've got -2 in the x direction, and then we're going to turn the corner and go positive 1 in the y direction. Are we good with plotting that point? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Over here, are we good with plotting those points? All right. The next point is -1, the x part, so I'm going to go -1 in the x direction. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to go positive 2 in the y direction. So I'm going to come up here and plot my point there. Here, I've got 0, 3, so I'm not going anywhere in the x direction. And I'm going to go up 3 in the y direction.
Oh.
All right. Here, I'm going to go positive 1 in the x direction, and then 4, I'm going to have to extend this, 4 in the y direction, so I'm going to be right there. All right. Then I'm going to go 2 in the x direction, so I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
4, yeah, 4, 5. So that's going to be here. And then 3, going 3 in the x direction, 1, 2, 3, and then up 6. So we're going to be right there.
So this would.
So this, and then this is off because this is a linear equation. It's going to be a line, so we're going to just connect our dots. it'll be kind of a straight line. It's not too big, so it is. And we're coming down, we've got a line.
So like this.
Yes. So it should be a line in the positive with a positive slope. Okay, we'll deal with that later. But for now, that's just graphing a line using a T-chart. Using a T-chart. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to take these two things and we're going to combine it. But first of all, I think I've got some, so I've got my points here on the PowerPoint. And I'm just going to connect those dots. Okay? All right. So the function f of x is equal to the absolute value of x is called an absolute value function. And I am going to hand out these sheets. Hello? Hello?
Is Christopher Sowers in this class?
He is not.
Thank you.
So I've got some sheets I'm going to hand out to you guys. Some of this has some vocabulary at the top, and then we're going to be doing some graphing, but we're not going to do the graphing quite yet. So we've got y equals our f of x or y. Remember, those could be the same thing. We've got f of x is the same thing as y. All right, it's just function notation. All right, so we've got y, this is an absolute value function. The highest or lowest point on the graph is called the vertex. So on your sheet that I just handed out, there's that word vertex in that little square in the top right. Vertex, and you're going to write down what the vertex is. The highest or lowest point on the graph. So remember that, remember that when we graph parabolas, they always have vertexes right there.
Oh, okay. Will we write vertex?
So it's in that, okay, on this sheet right here, on this sheet, in this corner right here, in a box, there's the axis of symmetry and there's vertex. You're going to write that definition. So it is the highest or lowest point. So these absolute value graphs are going to have high or low points.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm trying again. By any chance, is Christopher Sowers there?
He is not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just call.
Okay, so that's the vertex. And I'll show you a picture of that here in just a minute once we get these terms down. The other thing that we're going to deal with is an axis of symmetry. And the axis of symmetry of the graph of a function is a vertical line that divides the graph into mirror images. In this case, we're going to have axis of symmetry, that's the one above that. That's just a vertical line that divides it into two pieces, or two halves, that are mirror images of each other. So we've just done these two vocabulary words right here. We practice a few things with absolute value. Anyway, axis of symmetry and vertex.
You got to stop.
That slide. Did you have some? Okay, so vertex and axis of symmetry. Catch up. Are we doing okay so far? Okay, nothing hard? Try not to go anywhere this first time. Guys, if you would do me a favor and put your name on both of these sheets, because I'll collect them afterwards, and just hold them for you. Because we're going to do another workshop Monday and Tuesday of next week. Finish this up. This is kind of like part one.
Shit, how many parts we got?
2. Okay, we caught up here?
We don't have a stapler?
Okay, so an absolute value graph has one axis of symmetry that passes through the vertex. All right, so I'm just going to show you these absolute value functions are in the shape of a V. Okay, they're going to be in the shape of a V. And the vertex is either going to be at the top or the bottom. In this case, it's at the bottom. The axis of symmetry is that green line that runs through there. That vertical green line that divides that graph into mirror images of each other. So it's a reflection across that line. So you have your vertex and you have your axis of symmetry. All right. Now, this is what I want you to do for me. Number one on this sheet that has the graphs, I want you to try to do number one. We're going to combine that, taking that absolute value, and then we're going to practice that graphing. So remember that, what shape should you have when you're done? Should be a
B.
V. Okay, a V. So number one on that sheet, I want you to do number one on the sheet. So we're taking the absolute value. All right, so this is y equals absolute value of x. So the absolute value of -3 is your absolute value makes everything here for that. The absolute
Yeah, that's what I got here.
So whatever's in there. So we're going to take the absolute value of -3, so it's going to be positive.
Put the negative 3 in here.
Any positive value that goes in
And
there
then
is
you
going
can
to be
get
positive.
stay one.
So, this, do we use it on the board? Finish up the text.
Okay, so your x is -3 here. -3 checks.
So
You're right.
so we're going to use for all of the this -3? Or
-3 goes here, and -2 goes
Now,
here.
graph.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's all.
Yes. So we're using this one right here, okay? Y equals x, right? So we're going to do y equals the absolute value of -3, which makes that +3.
I'm done.
Okay, good. So we're going to use right here, okay? And the absolute value of -2 is going to be +2, good, okay? And -1 is going to be 1. So we're just going to and the absolute value of 1, those are positive, so this is 1, right? So Sarah's done. Check your table of weights here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, did you go 1, 1?
Do we do the 0 though?
Back 0, 0. Yeah, go ahead and draw the V. Good. Okay, so here you're going to graph. So we're going to go in the -3 direction on the x, and then a positive 3 on the y. Yeah, and then -2, 2. Just graph it. You got it done, do you want to?
Thank you.
Okay, so you're
I
doing
think it's the
this.
next game after this.
We're going to use this function right here. Okay. And we're going to say the absolute value
No, I just.
of -3, which is going to be what? Positive 3. Okay, the absolute value of -2 is -1 is going to be 1. 0 is going to be 1 is going to be. Then you're going to graph it up.
Your threes is ugly.
What is it? My threes are.
You want to go to something against the
How are you doing? Okay, you got half of it down.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay. I'll let you go. You got it there? Okay, not hard? Make sure your name's on this, because you're going to turn it in and then. Yes, perfect. Very good.
So when we, so like in our school, so we got you for algebra 3. So when does that like start? When we get grades and stuff?
Okay, we're going to start right after this next grading period, which ends today. So yeah, we'll start on that. In fact, if you'll turn this in, I'll probably give you a couple points for graphing something using a T-chart. And then I'm going to have some, after the next workshop, we'll run some checks. And if you pass them, yay, I'll give you the points. Or I'll award you the points you've earned.
So that satisfies your question?
Okay, so, everybody got number 1 graph, are we good?
Yep.
All right. So, parent function, that's on the other sheet. Parent function is like the simplest or most basic form of the type of functions. They are as close as they can get to the origin, which is 0, 0. All right, so parent function for what you just graphed there on your graph is the parent function for absolute value of functions. All right, if I were to do the parent function here, y equals x, that is the most basic linear function. The graph of that goes through the origin and is there. So that's the parent function for linear. Okay, for an absolute value, y equals, this is your absolute value parent function. This one looks like that graph you just graphed, which is this. It goes through 0, 0 here. Right there. Right here. All right. You guys have dealt with an AG2 parabolas, which are quadratic parent functions. That one looks like this. This is a quadratic.
Oh, it's fine.
So you may be wondering, why is it we have these parent functions? All right, parent functions are the most basic. So this is y equals the absolute value of x. This is y equals x squared. Each translation that happens with these functions, each translation is like a child of that parent function. So if I said y equals x plus 3, that's going to take this line here and it's going to move it up 3 units. And you're going to have a parallel line there. Y equals x plus 3. This is 4. Y equals x right there. Y equals x. Okay. Y equals x plus 3 is a child of that function. It is a translation of that function. And we'll talk about that word translation here in just a sec. So parent function is the most basic. Okay, usually it doesn't have anything with it. It's y equals something's being done to x. And usually nothing's being multiplied, but something's being done to x.
All right.
So that's parent function. All right, the other vocabulary word that you have there is translation. Did everybody get parent function, by the way?
Yep.
Okay. Translation is a term used to describe a function that moves an object a certain distance. When I translate something, it doesn't change size, it doesn't take shape, it just moves. So if this piece of paper is a plane, and I'm going to translate it, I can move it right, I can move it left, or I can move it right, I can move it up or down or diagonal, but it doesn't change size, it doesn't change shape, it just moves. It doesn't rotate, it doesn't reflect, it just moves. So we're going to be translating these absolute value functions. So that's where we're headed to here in just a little bit. Translating those absolute value functions. So basically what we're going to be doing is taking this V, or it's going to be sliding it right or left, up or down, or maybe a little bit diagonal. So we're going to take that V,
We didn't get the parent function.
parent
We were
function.
listening, we don't have it right now.
Okay.
You go back and I can take a
Yeah, I'll
picture.
go back. Has everybody got translation?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Which one was vertex?
Huh?
So which one was vertex?
Vertex is the highest or lowest point. Highest or lowest point. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going
The highest of what?
to, the highest or lowest point. Okay, so you've got parent function here. Borrow this for a second.
If they can read my handwriting.
Okay, it doesn't, you know, there's really pretty threes there.
Why trying to flip?
Alright, so translation, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is we're going to be translating this absolute value function. So, everybody got translation here? Okay, so on your sheet now, back to that graphing sheet, it's got the graphs on there. We're going to complete numbers 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to be taking that, what's in there, that function, and graphing it. So we're going to do graphs 2, 3, and 4.
So we're gonna do both
The whole
sides?
sheet, yes, the whole sheet. 2, 3, and 4. So I want you to work a little bit independently on that. So while he's copying, while you're waiting, okay, wait, just go ahead and start working on number 2 here. All right, and he's done. Copy that.
So this,
Start working on number 2 here. 2, 3, 4.
so what is this reverse right here? So we got that.
Okay, so what I did, this is my function right here. So I've got y equals the absolute value, now that's the x, so we replace that with -4 plus 2.
Plus.
Okay, -4 plus 2 is the absolute value, -2, right? You know, I take the absolute value as constant too.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Perfect. Very good. You got it. You got it. here, so this becomes 3, right? So that's negative 5, 3. Now, here's negative 4, but this is my x right here. So I'm going to put negative 4 in there, right?
How do you do zeros?
Zero to zero.
Please pardon the interruption. If you have not done so, could you please fill out your count sheet and sit it down at this time? I would like to have all of them by 10. So please take a few minutes to fill out your count sheet and return them to the main office.
Did you get all
Thank
that?
you.
Ms. Logan, how do you do zero?
So, yeah, so that's just the absolute value of 0, which is 0. So it's going to be 0, so it's going to be -2.
So we just write -2 plus 0.
-2 is your x value, and then 0 is your y value. Okay, so that's how you're going to graph that. Okay. You okay?
Do that right, do that electronically.
Yeah, don't worry about those words, we'll go over that stuff. I just mainly want you to do the graphs right now. Just work on the graphs, we'll talk about the words here in a little bit.
So you gotta
So
make it possible.
just do your T-chart, do your graphing.
So you do this.
Okay.
You make it smaller.
How do you know we do -1?
No, if it's positive, one, it remains positive one, okay? Because absolute value makes everything's positive always.
Yeah, zero.
So then the y value, that's still negative.
Yes, well, the x value is nothing's going to go negative, this is always going to be positive, right?
So this one is
Which is 3, and then the absolute, 1 plus 2, we get just 3.
For 3,
And the absolute value of 3 is,
we did this good, so.
this is
I
10.
don't know.
Okay. So we have negative 1 plus 2 is positive.
This is one, this is one.
We got
It still comes
1
up.
plus 2 is 3, right?
Say that.
Minus 0.
Let's hope it.
And then 2 plus 2 is 4, the absolute value of 4.
I think you just wrote it.
So we have, this is 3, 2, negative 3 plus 2, 1 is positive.
Oh, okay, so
So this is going to be
okay.
and then negative 2 plus 2, positive 2 is 0.
Okay.
So that's then negative 1 plus 2 is positive. Plus 2
There you go.
This is last year we played.
I can show
We went to their
star.
Alright, so you've got number 2,
Yeah,
you should do number 3.
I haven't graphed it yet, but
Okay.
like, it says 1, 3, 4.
It's okay.
Is that okay?
It's okay. It's okay. I skipped 0. So 0 would be in between negative 1. It's okay.
This is 0.
Yeah, that's 0 right there,
No.
but I skipped one.
With that sweet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
You sleep right, sweetie.
Okay, how are we doing?
That's right, that's.
It looks really good. It looks really good. Perfect. 2, 3, 4, just that, don't ignore these words
X
for right
is
now.
this line, so this is X5, do the X equals X5, and then.
So we have 1 minus 3, so when I subtract, we need to do -2, right? Yeah, so it becomes 3 minus 1, which is 2, and this is the bigger one, so it's. So did I do it? Perfect, yes, that's what I wanted.
Would that make -2 is the 1?
Huh?
Would that make it -2 is the 1 when you do that?
So it's 1 minus 3, so that's the same as 1 plus -3. So I subtract, it's -2, -2. Okay, don't worry about that right now. Just these two.
Okay. Let's go back to the back, to these.
I am.
I didn't even know you loved
People need out of this.
Huh?
I didn't know nothing about this workshop.
It's a workshop. Well,
What time we get out of here?
before third hour. Like before the end of it.
All right, how are we doing?
So how do we do this?
Okay, so I'm gonna say 1 minus 3, okay? So that they're subtracting
So that's -2.
-2, yes.
Oh, so we do the same thing that we did.
Yes, like a video, it's not just like that. Go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 4 minus 3, which is 1, yeah, positive 1. Okay, so you're gonna go 4 in the X direction, and 1. So you see it being happening. It should be masturbating what's possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna pop down to 3, 0.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you gotta just go to the screen. There you go. How are we doing? Yes. Okay, so we had the absolute value of negative 2, which is positive 2. Okay, so this is the same as I'll take the absolute value of negative 2, which is positive 2, right? So I've got 2 plus 2 is okay, we're almost there. And yeah, but we're going to talk about it here in a minute. Okay, so everybody's caught up? All right, so we're going to go down to number 2 here, and we're going to describe how this graph compares to the graph of y equals x. So we're going to compare the graph that you just did on number 2 to this graph right here, number 1. All right, so how does that look? What happened there?
What'd you say?
The V
They
was
moved over to the left.
It moved to the right, right? No, move to the left, move to the left. Move to the left too. And it's now sitting here like this. All right, now, how does this differ, looking at the equations, how do these two equations differ?
Like from number 1.
Yeah, from number 1. This moved left 2 units, right?
Yes.
We're going to use that word translated. So we translated left 2 units.
Yes.
Okay, so the vertex there, to find the vertex, I'm going to do what? I'm going to go -2 in the x direction. And I didn't move up or down, so it's going to stay 0 in the y direction. Now your axis of symmetry, this is how I remember axis of symmetry. Axis has the letter x in it. So it's x equals the x value here, -2. So axis of symmetry, you got 3 x's. There's 1 x in the axis. X equals the x value. All right, now, looking at your graph number 3, I'm going to let you guys catch up there. So it translated 2 units left when I added 2 inside that absolute value. Now, looking at this number 3, how does that compare with number 1 over here? What happened there?
Goes to the right.
Yeah, so it went,
Transition to the one right.
so it looks like this right here, right? So we
Yes.
did what? We translated
To the right. 3 units.
3 units right. All right? So on number 3, what you're going to write in that line there is it translated 3 units right. Now notice when I subtract 3 inside this x value, it translates that function 3 units right.
right, so 0, right?
Yeah, and so my vertex is going to be -3, I'm sorry, +3, because I went 1, 2, 3 in the positive x direction. And then I didn't go up or down, so that's going to be 0.
And then the symmetry will be -3, right?
Axis of symmetry is going to be actually +3. So your AOS is going to be +3. X equals 3. Sorry. X equals 3. All right. So axis, x equals the x value. All right. Now, looking at that number 4, notice inside my absolute values, it seems to move that right and left. Okay?
It's like trying to like center, like trying to center itself, but it's not close to center.
Right, so that's moving it right and left, okay? Now, what happened when we did x plus 2? What did that do?
That, the x, with the x plus 2 would.
What happened there?
It would usually, if it was a negative number, it would subtract that to a 1.
Okay, but what does your graph look like? How does that compare to this graph?
If my graph looks like a little bit like.
Okay, so it went up 2, right?
Yes. I went up.
Okay. So we have this going on. So for number 4, we were translated.
Up to. Is it up to 2?
Yeah, 4 units
Or you.
up. Okay, sorry, I'm having to write all the way over here. Okay, so my vertex is what? Did I go anywhere on the x in the x direction? No, so that's going to be 0. And then I went up 1, 2, so its vertex is 0, 2. And my axis of symmetry is the x value, x equals 0. Right here, x equals 0. All right, so that's determining, so notice that when I went outside my absolute values,
Right.
it sent it up, and if I had done another one, if it was a negative, it would have sent it down. All right, so there's a pattern here that we're going to use. So on we're going back to this sheet right here. This is your pattern that we're going to use. So I'm going to erase some of this. Because we're just going to look now at the pattern rather than having to graph these all the time. We're going to use this pattern. Y equals, we're not going to deal with the negative a today. X minus h, we'll do that again next week, plus k. All right, so on my pattern, what I noticed here was inside my absolute values, that translated my function right and left, or horizontally. So I want you to put an arrow looking like this over there, because inside that absolute value is how that thing's going to move. It's either going to move right or left.
Right.
Okay? Outside my absolute value, that moves
Down.
up and down, right? Up and down. So put that arrow over top. So inside is how it's going to move right or left. Outside is up or down. Right. What I also noticed here was H and K are my vertex. So I've got 2 on the inside, nothing on the outside. So I got a 0 right there. So my vertex is -2. So this right here, H and K are my vertex. To determine that, looking just at the equation, I can do this. I've got x minus h. H can be, you guys, so let's make this y equals the absolute value of x minus 1, okay, plus 2. All right, so we're going to, I'm just going to put some numbers in there. So to find my x value, I'm going to take this part right here, just this part, set it equal to 0. So I'm going to take what's in the absolute value and set it equal to 0, and solve for x. So I'm going to take what's in the absolute value, set it equal to 0, and then I'm going to solve for x. All right, so to get x by itself, I'm going to do what? Add 1 to both sides, right?
Yep.
And I get x equals 1. So
Why not
this
at
becomes
school?
my vertex. So my vertex is 1.
Why not at school? Why not at school?
Notice that this was a -1 up here. But remember when they shifted, they didn't shift in the way we thought they should. Okay, so x equals 1. So we went 1 unit right. Okay, because now my vertex is sitting at 1, which is right at that 0. Okay, to find the y value, I'm just going to take the
Add top
number
to it.
part of that. So y equals 2. Well, that went up 2 units. So my vertex is 1, 2. So with my absolute value, I take whatever's with that x and I change the sign. Okay? And that means this went up 2. 1 unit right, up 2 units. We'll use that word translated. That's a new vocabulary. Translated 1 unit right, up 2 units. So I can look at my equation now and tell where it went without having to graph it.
160.
So I'm going to let you guys catch up on some of those notes there. Make sure you've got those arrows on your sheet. And we're going to practice a little bit with this. It's not really hard once you figure out the pattern. It's all about figuring out that pattern. We'll let you guys get caught up. And then we're just going to practice with a few here. And then I'm going to let you go. And the next workshop we're going to do is Monday and Tuesday. And on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to deal with this A over here and the negative side. Okay, are we caught up? All right. So let's practice here a little bit. Okay, so looking at this one, I've got x plus 2. Which one does my horizontal?
The
Yeah, it's supposed to
X plus 2, okay? So that's going to translate which way?
be left and right.
Okay, left and right. So I've got a positive 2, so I'm going to say,
we make it go up.
okay, so
Remember the outside will be up and down, right?
outside is up and down,
Oh,
inside is left and right. So I just need to figure out which way it went. Did it go left or did it go right? So I've got x plus 2 here.
right. It go right because it's positive.
Okay, it's positive, but remember, it doesn't move in the way I think
Good
it
idea.
should, because I have to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2. X is equal to
You put a
negative 2.
zero.
Is negative 2 on the right 0 or the left?
Left.
Left. So it went left 2 units. Okay? So it doesn't go in the direction, inside that absolute value, does not, it goes right and left, but it doesn't go in the direction you think it should.
Alright.
Okay? So that's where you kind of got to get your head around that. You're going to have to change that sign.
What are we writing all this at?
Huh?
What are we writing on the paper at?
This is just practice. You can write it on the back if you want. All right. So, or at the bottom there. That's your paper. All right. So it's x plus 2. Okay. So I went 2 units left, right? Because negative 2. And then what did I do?
You naked or something?
Down 3 units. Okay. So outside the absolute value, it goes in the direction you think it should. Okay. So I think of this kind of graphic. All right. So I went 2 units left,
Yeah, fuck on.
3 units down.
Yeah, fuck on.
What?
She never had an appointment.
All right, let's look at this next one.
Why are you missing this stuff?
What's the horizontal translation here? X is equal to 1. Okay, so we went 1 is to the right 0, so we went right 1. Okay, and then what?
That's like he
Two up.
2 up. Good.
Come here, move back.
All right, I think we got this.
Move away.
All right, let's check over here. Now, looking at the third one there. What did we do horizontally? What tells me how I went horizontally? X plus 3. Okay, so I went, which direction? Did I go right or left?
Left.
Okay. Why did you say it goes left?
Because it's positive and positive.
But it's positive. Positive goes through. Remember, in the absolute values, it goes in the way we don't think it should. So we thought it should go left, but it really went
Right.
right. Okay, so you have to change that sign. Okay. So X plus 3, it goes right. 3 units. And then how about outside the absolute value goes in the way we think it
It would
should?
go down.
Down 1. So we went left 3 units because it becomes negative 3. And it went down 1 unit. Okay. Let's try this one, Geronto. X minus 2. Which one is that? That moves horizontally, right? Inside the absolute value moves horizontally. So did I go right or left? Okay, I went left.
Oh.
Okay, you went. Okay, so I went right 2 units, right?
Right.
And then what? Then outside I go up 1, right? So I went right 2 units and up 1. All right, are we starting to get this? See that pattern? Okay, now these next couple, I'm just gonna, and I think I have 2 number 1s on here, sorry. All right, okay. So, these are a little different. On A, okay, do I have anything with that X inside the absolute values?
No.
No. So that means I didn't move anywhere. That's like that, it stays at 0, okay? So I went 0 units in the X direction. Then what did I do? 5 units up, good. 5 units up. All right. So on A,
Who is Big Daddy J?
okay, so A, I didn't go anywhere horizontally, right?
Right.
So my vertex is 0, and then I went up 5.
But what? Yeah. Well, I thought X doesn't work.
Brenda went up.
Okay, no, that's on this side of the X.
Oh, okay.
That's on this side. On this side is 0. That's a good number, I'm glad you moved that. 0, 5, so I went 0 in the left to right direction, but I went up 5. So I translated, I'll move out of the way here. Translated up 5 units. Okay, looking at B here, okay, B here, which way did I go, left or right?
Right.
Remember, inside I go the opposite way that I think. The 7's on the right side.
You went left. You went left, and you went
You
down
went
3.
left 7 and
down 3.
Down
Down
3. Good. Okay. Now D here is written a little bit differently. Okay. Does it match my pattern?
Oh.
No. How can I make it match my pattern? Does it match my pattern? Y equals 7 plus X minus 6. Alright, does this match this pattern here?
No, because
No.
it's missing out the contain.
Right, so I'm going to have to rearrange this, but remember addition is commutative? So I can say Y equals X minus 6 plus 7, same thing. Okay, so now which way did I go? I got 6 units, which way?
No, forward.
6.
It's minus.
Alright, so this was right or left, so I either went right or I went left.
Left.
Let's go left.
Okay, we're going to go, actually we're going to go right. because this becomes a positive 6. So this positive 6
That's what I said in the first place, because that was a positive, that was a negative, and then it was negative
to the positive. So we're gonna go right 6 units and then up
7.
7. Okay. Javanta's gonna make fun of my 7 now. Okay. All right. Here, last one. What did we do?
Stop.
So we go, right. we go
Y'all need to be in
right
motherfucking class.
5,
Did they get that?
and then up 4.
You giving me a chance to stop.
Okay. So, is he correct?
Yes.
Yes. So we went right 5 and up 4. How do we feel about looking at equations? Or would you give me a thumbs up or down? How do we feel about looking at equations and being able to tell the translation? Are we good?
Yeah.
Good here, so Tara? Everybody good? Okay, put your names on your papers. Make sure your names are on them, hand them to me. I'm just going to excuse that hand.
What we got there?
Okay. You need to go to council.
That's where we go now.
All right. Okay, so these 2 papers, I want your names on them. Thank you for coming. The next one's going to be Monday and Tuesday of next week. We're going to finish out, we're going to deal with that A and the negative A, huh?